It sounds like something from a movie. You are walking along the shore and you find a bottle has washed up, and inside, a message. Well, a group of students from Greensboro actually threw some bottles in the water, and someone found one of them a long, long way away. And today we have with us Susan Ferguson, who is a third grade teacher at Greensboro Day School. Susan, share with us a little about this project.
Yes, that was in the spring of 2018, and we were doing our study of North Carolina. We did do a big unit on North Carolina in third grade, and we study our great state by regions. So we had just completed our unit on our section on the coastal plains of North Carolina, and the kids had earned a class incentive, and they wanted to have Pirate Day. So we had a great fun day of dressing like pirates and talking like pirates, and our writing activity that day was to make the messages in a bottle. So the kids did some research about positive, inspirational quotes. They chose their own quotes to include in the letters with the hopes that whoever might find their bottles would have a little bright spot in their day, a little uplifting message.
And that certainly happened. All right, so Brant and Vivian, I know both of you got to write letters and put them in a bottle. Brant, let me start with you. What was that like? What did you think about this project?
I thought it was really cool because I was actually surprised when I was told that we were going to do it, because that isn't usually something you actually get to do. It's more of something you read in books or watch in movies. And I thought it was really cool that we got to write down something and send it into the ocean and see if people can find it.
Do you mind sharing with us what you wrote?
I wrote that I was in third grade, and I wrote my name, and I wrote Miss Ferguson's email address and the school's address, and I wrote a quote at the bottom of the page.
Do you remember what your quote was or what it was about?
It was by Helen Keller.
Oh, yeah. Really cool. All right, Vivian, what about you? What did you think about this project?
I was just really excited to do it because I was just really looking forward to Pirate Day. So whenever you did the message in the bottle, I was just really excited.
I bet. And what did you write in your message?
I wrote my name, and I was in third grade, and a lot of things that Brant wrote. And I also wrote a quote.
And tell me about your quote.
My quote was, "Be strong because things will get better. It may be stormy now, but it never rains forever."
Oh, how appropriate that is for the time we are living in right now. I love that, Vivian. So Tyler is Brant's dad, and Tyler, you actually set the bottles a sail, right? Tell us about that.
That's right. Well, I think I remember an email request going out to parents from Mrs. Ferguson. Is anybody going to the coast anytime soon? And I waited for about half a day for anyone to respond, and finally I chimed in and said, yes, I'm actually going to a fishing tournament. I'd be happy to take the bottles. When I met with Mrs. Ferguson, I was really impressed actually at how good of a job she did with sealing the bottles. It wasn't a simple cork. She put wax in them, almost like waterproof tight seal. So I was very impressed with the construction and thought, hey, this might actually have a shot. So we brought the bottles to Morehead City for the fishing tournament, and we took them about 60 miles off the coast of North Carolina into the Gulf Stream, where I thought they would have the best chance of going far.
About how many bottles was it?
Just over a dozen, about 14, I think.
Did you feel a little guilty throwing them in the water?
Thank you, Rosemary. Yeah, I did feel a little bit guilty, but we're not talking about plastic here. I thought they'd either be sea glass or they might make it to the coast of Europe. But never in my wildest dreams did I think we'd reach the African continent.
I mean, really? Okay, so the first bottle was found was, ironically, Brant's bottle. And so, Brant, where was your bottle found and when?
I don't exactly remember where, but I remember that it was only a couple days or one day after he threw the bottles out into the ocean. And I remember it not being too far found where it was thrown. And I remember seeing a couple pictures of the boat.
And so you heard from the person who found it? They sent an email to your teacher?
Yes.
Were you pretty excited about that?
I was really excited.
And so, Ms. Ferguson, did you think, okay, they're all going to end up, they're going to all wash up in the next few days, and they're all going to be, close by?
Yeah, since I had never done anything like this before, it's funny that Tyler mentioned the seal on the bottles, because we had some anxiety about that. If you'll be surprised what you can Google these days. So we actually Googled, and some of the bottles were sealed with glue, some were sealed with melted candle wax. We tried a couple of different things to increase the likelihood that this might actually work. So Vivian, I'm curious, do you remember did we use glue or wax for your bottle? Do you remember?
I think we used wax.
Okay, because I'm sticking with that from now on.
I
Since
bet.
we know it works.
I bet. And I'm going to let Vivian reveal exactly where her bottle was found. So Vivian, your bottle was just recently found. Tell us where.
My bottle was found on the coast of Morocco in Africa.
Wow. Okay, so Ms. Ferguson, what happened after that? Hers was found in Africa, and did you get an email?
Yes, so an email appeared in my box, and quite honestly, when I saw the subject line, it was just the gentleman's name, and I thought it was spam, and I almost hit delete. Fortunately, I opened the email, and he explained that his uncle was a fisherman, and that he had found our bottle. So I immediately responded and asked if they could send some pictures, and he replied right away. With pictures of the bottle on the coast, open. It still had the little ribbon Vivian had put around the note, was still intact and everything. And then he sent pictures of himself and his uncle. And they were holding Vivian's letter, and you could still very clearly read the writing on the letter after 15 months, I see.
How cool is that? Vivian, what did you think when your teacher called and told you this?
I was mostly shocked, but I was excited.
I bet. Can you believe that your bottle went halfway around the world?
I think that it's really miraculous that it only took a year to get all the way to Africa.
Just floating along like that. That's a lot of fun. Ms. Ferguson, so what did you learn from this? And what kind of lessons do you think you want to, or how do you want to use this going forward, I guess?
I think there's a lot of possibilities there. We could spend a little more time maybe with maps next time, talking about all the possibilities of places that they could go, maybe a little more background information about the Gulf Stream and how it actually works. We didn't do that this first time because it was mostly about North Carolina. So we'll open it up a little more next time.
Well, and speaking of lessons learned and North Carolina, really, this has another special lesson and connection, because the fishing tournament that Tyler was involved with actually was started by folks from Greensboro, Reelin for Research, and Richard Montana is here with us too. Tell us a little bit about Reelin for Research.
Yeah, thanks, Rosemary. So Reelin for Research is a fishing tournament that's once a year. It's usually the first weekend in May. Unfortunately, we didn't get to have it this year because of COVID, but we'll still raise some money. And all the money that we raise from the fishing tournament goes to pediatric cancer research down at UNC Children's Hospital. And our mission is to cure childhood cancer. We believe cancer is a bad thing no matter who gets it, but these children, hadn't had a chance to live a life like some other folks have, and we're trying to wipe it out and raise as much money as we can. So we do that through our fishing tournament, and it's been going on for about 11 years now, and we've raised about $3.6 million, and we have a fellowship program down at UNC Chapel Hill, and that's really teaching the young doctors, teaching the ways of the older doctors to the young doctors, and then they can come up with their ideas on how to cure childhood cancer. So I thought it was interesting when Vivian, her message was be strong, and I think that's the message that we try to send to all the children down at the Children's Hospital. So I thought that was pretty serendipitous in the fact that was her message to the folks who ever received her bottle. So that was really cool.
And that would be a message that I bet your dad would share too.
Oh, absolutely. So it was the tournament is in memory of my father, who passed from cancer, and he definitely would say, "Be strong." And I think that, like you said earlier, that goes to everyone across the world right now, considering the environment we're living in.
Yeah. It really just does. I mean, any closing thoughts, Ms. Ferguson, on this and what this has meant to you, and to making these new connections and new learning experiences for all of us?
You know what, Rosemary? I'm so glad you asked that, because this project could have never happened without this tight GDS community. I could have never gotten those bottles into the Gulf Stream by myself. So we just have such a great family and a great community there. And without their help, I would have never been able to do this project. So just thank you so much to Mr. Richardson and Mr. Montana, because what a cool thing. We couldn't have done it without them.
Yeah, we're learning how important community is
Yes.
more than ever right now, and school communities, our larger Greensboro community, and this just shows that our larger international, our world community, we all are working together and trying to find signs of hope and healing and strength, as Vivian put it. So thank you. So thanks to all of you, Ms. Ferguson, thank you to you, Brant and Vivian, great job, and Tyler and Richard. We could have done it without the two of you too. Thanks so much for sharing your story, and we wish you a wonderful school year.
Thank you.
Curious to learn more about Reelin for Research? They are online. Find them at reelinforresearch.org.